Myself, I'm Navina Rajesh. So I will be teaching science for you. Okay. So today I will teach lesson number 3. Okay.
Okay.
So while teaching, if you have any doubt, don't hesitate to ask. On the spot, you can clear the doubts. Okay. So let's start with the chapter, lesson number 3, diversity in living things and their classification. Okay. Give me a second. Yes, Jasmine, is my screen visible?
Yeah, no, ma'am. Till now, yes. Now it's visible.
Okay. So diversity in living things. So what do you mean by diversity in living things? What you understood from this?
Our surrounding.
Our surrounding. Okay, living things we know. There are so many living things around us. So what is the meaning of diversity? Don't be scared. Open up.
Ma'am, I don't know.
Okay, no problem. Okay, I will show you the next slide so you will get the answer. Okay, okay. So you can see there are so many plants, so many animals on the screen. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, even you observe your surroundings, you can see different types of plants, different types of animals, isn't it? Okay,
Yes.
so tell me, all the plants and animals are same?
No,
No, they are
different.
different. So diversity in living things means different. There are so many living things which are different. Okay, they are differ from each other. Okay, so that is diversity. Now you got what is meant by diversity?
Yeah.
Okay, so now, so if you consider a mango tree, even in mangoes we can see different variety, isn't it? Alfonso mango, Kesari mango, so many different types we can see. If we consider a rose flower, even in that rose flower we can see different colors. Okay,
Yes.
so all the living things we can see diversity in them. Okay, so now first we will see diversity in plants. Okay, so plants are differ in many ways. If we consider their nutrition, can you tell me how plants make their food?
With sunlight, water,
Okay, with sunlight, water, and one more thing,
and carbon dioxide.
carbon dioxide. Yes. Do you know the name of this process?
Means
Plants make their food by the process called photosynthesis. Okay. Okay. So all plants make their own food.
no, some plants.
Some plants make their own food. Okay. So the plants which are able to make their own food, they are known as what? They are known as autotrophic. Okay. Is it clear? Yes, Jasmine, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the plants which are able to make their own food, they are known as autotrophic. Then what will be heterotrophic? If autotrophic
Plants
is, yes.
Plants which cannot prepare their own food.
Yes, plants which do not prepare their own food, they are known as heterotrophic. Okay, so if we see example for autotrophic, do you know any example for autotrophic?
Daughter,
Huh?
daughter,
Which one?
daughter,
Daughter, daughter, daughter, daughter is heterotrophic. It is a parasitic plant. See, one autotrophic plant is hibiscus. You know hibiscus?
Yes, autotrophic is periwinkle also.
Okay, so hibiscus, pomegranate, all these are examples for autotrophic. Okay, so heterotrophic plants, they are not able to make their own food. Okay, so they depend on other foods. They are known as heterotrophic. An example for heterotrophic is, as you said, dodder. Okay, as you said, dodder. DODDER. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, have you seen this picture, these plants anywhere?
No.
No. So, see, you can see openings on these plants. These plants are insectivorous. Okay. See, can you see the opening? Wait 1 second. I will show you. See, here openings are there, and one lid type structure is there.
Yes.
So when insect will sit here, it will close its lid. Like that, it will catch that insect. So there are some plants which eat the insects also. Okay, such plants are known as insectivorous. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
An example for insectivorous plant is pitcher plant. Pitcher.
Picture plant.
PITCHER. Okay, so based on the nutrition, we have seen that there are 3 types of plants. Autotrophic means which can make their own food. Heterotrophic means which cannot make their own food and they have to depend on other plants. And insectivorous means which eats insects. This much is clear?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay, so now let's see structure of a plant. So from the childhood, we are learning about the structure of a plant. So can you tell me the structures? Which structure is this? Is it clear? Is it visible?
No, ma'am.
The picture is not visible.
No.
Still, it's not visible for you. Can you see plant on the screen?
Yes, now I can see.
Okay. So can you tell me, so I hope you are familiar with the parts of the plants. Okay, so you will tell me which are the parts. So first we will start from this bottom part. So this bottom part is what?
Roots.
Roots. Okay, this bottom part is root. Okay, so root, how roots helps a plant?
With soil and water.
Yeah, roots absorb soil and water. Okay, then And any other function of a root?
Stem.
No, I'm asking any other function. You told root helps to absorb the plant, absorb the soil and minerals
Water.
and water from the soil. Okay.
Worms.
Likewise, any other function of root?
Worms.
Hmm?
Worms.
Sorry, your voice is not clear.
Like worms.
Worms. Okay. So root helps to absorb minerals and water from the soil. And it also helps in the anchoring of the plant. Okay. With the help of root, plant is able to stand on the soil. Isn't it? Isn't it? If root is not there,
Yes.
plant can stand on the soil?
No.
No. Okay. So the and root we can see underground. Okay, roots are seen underground. Now, which is this part?
Ma'am, I can't see the that roots plant. I can see only diversity in plants, autotrophic and heterotrophic.
Okay, you can't see the plant picture. Okay,
Yeah.
1 second. I will share it once again. Now, can you see?
Yes, ma'am, I can see blank.
Okay. So, above the ground, tell me which is the structure above the ground?
Stem.
Stem. So, what is the use or how a stem helps a plant? What stem will do?
It stands.
It also gives support to the plant. Then, so you already told that root will absorb the minerals and water. So how this minerals and water reaches to other parts of plant?
What, ma'am?
See, you told root helps in the absorption of minerals and water. Okay, now it should be reached to other parts of plant also. So which part of the plant fulfill this duty?
Leaves.
See, water should reach to leaves. So who carry this water and minerals to leaves?
Stem and roots.
Stem. Okay, root will absorb the mineral and water from the soil, and the stem helps in the conduction of this water and minerals to other part of the plant. Okay.
Plant.
Okay. Now, next, which part is this?
Leaf.
Leaves. Okay. So, what is the function of a leaf?
Leaves. 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 Function.
What leaf do?
First will leaves and it appears into a fruit and flower.
Sorry.
First leaf and it appears on fruit and flower.
Fruit and flower. Okay. What is the function? Function of a leaf. So you told me plants make food with the help of carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight. So where this where this process happen in plants?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, so leaves are known as kitchen of the plant. Okay, so in leaves, food is prepared for plants. Okay, so leaves helps in the preparation of food. Clear? Okay, now
Yes.
next part is, this one is
Flower.
flower. So we know that in a plant, flower is the attractive part. Okay, so how flower will help a plant? How flower will help a plant?
By sun.
Hmm?
By sun.
By sun. Yes, come on. How flower will help a plant? Okay, leave it.
By what?
Have you heard the term reproduction?
No.
Reproduction means producing young ones. Okay, reproduction means producing young ones. So these flowers helps in reproduction. Okay, these flowers will attract the insects. You know, after some days, flower will turn into, or flower will change into fruits. Understood?
Yes.
This flower will change into fruit, and inside the fruit, what we can see?
Yes, ma'am.
See, flower after some days, flower will changes to fruit. Okay, so inside a fruit, what can we see?
Inside the fruit, what we can see? Seeds.
What?
Seeds.
Seeds. Okay, so now next step, from this seed, what we'll get?
Flower. Sorry. Means again the flower grows.
Again the plant will grow. Again a new plant will grow. So this is reproduction. Reproduction means production of young ones. Okay, so a mango tree will produce a new mango tree. Can a mango tree produce a coconut tree?
No.
No. So reproduction means producing young ones. Okay, so the flower is a main part which helps in reproduction. This much is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, now see, one second. In all plants, the leaves are same.
No. Differently.
You can see different types of leaf. How they are differ? See, in some plants you can see simple leaf. Simple leaf means from the stalk, or from this, see, from this stalk, you only one leaf you can see. Okay, from this stalk only one leaf you can see. But here you see, if you observe carefully, you can see from a stalk more than one leaves you can see. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, so when there is a single leaf, it is known as simple leaf. And when there is more than one leaves, you can call it as compound leaf.
Compound.
Okay, have you seen leaves of drumstick? शेंग का पत्ता देखा है?
No.
No. Then coriander leaf, धनिया पत्ता.
Yes.
Yes. So धनिया पत्ता में, is it simple leaf or compound leaf?
Compound leaf.
Compound leaf. So understood the difference between a simple leaf and compound leaf?
Yeah.
Okay. So leaves are two types, simple leaf and compound leaf. Now, next is about root. Okay. So in this picture, you can see there are two types of root, taproot and fibrous root. So how taproot and fibrous root are differ?
root is less and fibrous roots is more.
Yes. So in taproot, you can see one main root. Okay. But in case of fibrous root, you can see so many thread-like structures. Okay. So in this taproot, you can see in case of hibiscus plant, if you uproot the hibiscus plant, you can see this kind of root. Okay. And fibrous root, where you can see when you uproot a grass. Okay. When you uproot a grass, you can see so many thread-like structures. Clear? So such kind of roots are known as fibrous root. So how many types of roots are there?
Two.
Two types of roots are there. One is taproot, another is fibrous root. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now we'll classify the trees based on their size and shape, size of the stem, trunk. Okay. Let's see. So based on the size of the stem, we can classify plants into three types. Okay. So first we classified the plants according to the nutrition, according to their nutrition. So according to nutrition, we classified the plants into how many types?
Yes, ma'am.
According to nutrition, we classified the plant into how many types? How many types?
Three. Two.
Only two. Okay, tell me which are they?
Taproot.
No, I'm not asking about root. I'm asking according to the classification, according to mode of nutrition. Plants are classified into how many types? See, in starting, we said that some plants are able to make their own food. Some plants are not able to make. Do you remember? Can you recall it?
Yeah.
So how many types?
Three.
Three. Can you tell me which are they?
Autotrophic plants.
Yes, very good.
Heterotrophic plants.
Heterotrophic plants. And insectivorous. Okay, insectivorous. Autotrophic plants, heterotrophic plants, insectivorous. So that is the first classification. Okay, then we have seen the structure of a plant. Okay, now we'll see based on the size of the stem. Stem, you understood which part is stem? Which is above the ground. Okay, so now based on the size of a stem, we can classify plants into three types. They are trees, shrubs. Just read the heading. First one is trees, then shrubs, then
and herbs.
Okay, so let's see the difference between trees and shrubs. From the picture, can you make out the differences between trees and shrubs? Can you tell me any one difference between trees and shrubs?
Trees are not touching the ground and
very good.
Shrubs are touching ground.
Yes, so we can say that trees grows longer. But in case of shrubs, they are short. Okay, when compared to trees, shrubs are short. Okay, and what about the trunk of a tree?
Branch.
Trunk means stem. This part is called trunk. Okay, so what about the trunk of a tree?
Stem.
Their stem is hard. Their stem is hard and strong. Even, but shrubs ka also trunk is hard and strong. But compared to trees, they are less hard and less strong. Clear? So trees, can you
Yes.
give some examples for trees?
Um, Coconut tree
Coconut tree, yes. Then
and mango tree.
mango tree. Okay, very good. So shrubs, as you said, shrubs, they grow shorter. They're always, means they will touch the ground. Okay, they are always shorter, and their trunks are also hard and strong, but compared to trees, they are less hard and less strong. So can you give me examples for shrubs?
Shrubs. Orange.
Orange, then
Hibiscus.
hibiscus, very good. Hibiscus, rose plant, they always grows close to the ground. They will not grow longer. They will not grow taller. Okay. So when you considered a mango tree, it will grow taller, but a hibiscus tree, it will not grow taller. Now we'll see next category, that are herbs. Can you see the picture of herb?
Yes.
So here which picture is given?
Kotombir.
Yes, coriander. Okay, so this herbs. So just think and tell me how the stems of this coriander leaves are. See, when we observe the trunk of trees and shrubs, they are hard and strong. What about this coriander leaf?
Coriander. They are not flexible.
Yes, very good. Their stems are flexible, and you can also say they are green in color, isn't it?
Green color. Yes.
Okay, so they will comes under the category called herbs. Okay, so herbs, their stems are very flexible and they are green in color, and they will grow only for few months. Some herbs will grow up to 2 years. Okay, some will grow only for few months. Even if you are planting this coriander leaf, it will very soon it will die. Okay.
Yes.
Now next category is wines. Have you seen a grape tree? Grape plant, grape, angur.
No, no. I
No.
didn't
Or
see.
pumpkin plant, watermelon plant.
No, I didn't see.
Okay. So can you just observe the last picture, this picture?
Yes.
When you compare these two pictures, what difference can you find out in this picture?
The they are not. Uh, they are not. Their stems are weak.
Weak. They are not erect, isn't it?
Yes.
They can't stand without any support. Okay, so they are known as vines. For example, grapes, watermelon, pumpkin plants, they all are vines. Okay, so some they will creep on the ground. Okay, some they will creep on the ground. They are known as creepers. Okay, and some they will take support of other substances with the help of tendrils. Tendrils means, if you observe such plants, you can see one spring-like structure. Have you observed it anywhere? Spring-like structure?
No.
No. Wait. Let me try. 1 second. See, this is that structure. Can you see now? This
Yes.
spring-like structure. So some plants, what they will do using this spring-like structure, that are known as tendrils. Okay, this, with the help of tendrils, they will attach to other plant or other substances. Can you see here how the tendril is attached to other
Yes.
part? Okay, so these are tendrils. Okay, so on the basis of size of face of the stem of a plant, plants are classified into how many types? Trees,
Shrubs, herbs, vines.
herbs, and then vines. This much is clear.
Yes.
So first we have seen about which type of classification. First we classified the plants based on
food, prepare their own food.
based on food, or we can say based on nutrition. Okay, based on nutrition. Then we classified the plants based on
Parts.
based on yes,
Based on plants,
based on
like simple and compound leaf.
okay. So first we classified based on nutrition, then we classified based on the size and size of the stem. Now see, some plants, they will grow for few months or 1 year. Okay, some plants or some trees, they will grow for 2 years, and some plants, they will grow for several years.
Many years.
Okay, so
Several.
based on that, plants are again classified into 3 groups. Okay, based on that, plants are again classified into 3 groups. They are known as annuals, biennials, perennials.
Perennial.
Once again, annuals, biennials, perennials.
And perennial.
So annual means what? Annual exam means what? When annual exam will be conducted? Have you heard this term, annual? No.
Yes.
Annual exam means the exam which is conducted after completion of that course, after completing 1 year. Okay, so annual plants means the plants which grow till only for 1 year. Clear? Annual means the plants or trees which grow only for 1 year. Clear?
Yes.
So biennials means, bi means
Months.
biennials.
Biennials. They grow inside the ground.
No. This is based on the life cycle.
Life cycle.
See, annual means which grows for 1 year, only 1 year. They will grow only 1 year. And what is the meaning of biennial?
Biennial, they complete their life cycle 2 years.
2 years. Okay, so bi means 2. Okay, so biennial means they complete their life cycle in 2 years. So what is meant by perennials?
Perennials. Perennials, they can live for more than 2 years.
Yes, so they will live for several years. Okay, perennials, they live for several years. So we'll see examples. Okay, so annuals, the plants which complete their life cycle for 1 year. Examples are jawar. Okay, jawar,
Yes.
then sunflower,
Sunflower.
jawar, sunflower. And examples for biennials, which completes their life cycle for 2 years. You can say carrot. So carrot, they will live for only 2 years. Okay, they will live for 2 years. Carrot and beetroot. Beet. Okay, carrot, beetroot, they all complete their life cycle or they live for 2 years. And perennials, the trees which lives for several years, you can say mango.
Banyan tree.
Mango, yes. Banyan tree, yes. Then even hibiscus.
Hibiscus.
Okay, hibiscus also, they will live for several years.
Yes.
Clear?
Yes.
Okay, so based on the life cycle of a plant, we classified the plants into 3 categories. They are annuals, biennials, perennials.
And
Annuals means they complete their life cycle within 1 year. Biennials means they complete their life cycle or they live for 2 years. And perennials means they live
several
for
years.
several years. So is this clear? This much part is clear?
Yes.
Any
Yes.
doubt?
No.
Okay. Now tell me, are all plants produce flowers?
No.
Okay. So based on that, we can categorize the plants into 2 groups. The plants which produce flowers, we can call them as flowering plants. And the plants which do not produce flowers, we can call them as non-flowering plants. Okay. The plants which produce flowers, they are known as flowering plants. And the plants which do not produce flowers, they are known as non-flowering plants. And main thing is that the non-flowering plants, they don't have root, stem, leaves. Clear? Non-flowering plants like ferns. Have you seen ferns?
No.
No.
Ferns.
Ferns. Okay, wait, I will try to show you.
I have seen only mushroom.
Mushroom. I will show you ferns. So ferns are non-flowering plants. Wait. See, these are ferns. Okay, these are ferns. See, in the village, near to wells, you can see ferns. Have you seen?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
No,
So
I
these
don't
ferns, they will never flower. Okay, they will never produce flower. And they comes under the category non-flowering plants. Okay. So this non-flowering plants, they don't have stems and roots. Okay, these ferns, they don't have stems and roots.
Roots.
Okay. Now, I will show you world's largest flower. Okay. So, world's largest flower is Rafflesia arnoldi. Rafflesia arnoldi is world's largest flower. Okay. Its diameter. Diameter means from center to this width. Okay. Its diameter is about 1 meter. Okay. If you see this, its diameter is about 1 meter. Okay. So that this Rafflesia arnoldi is the largest flower in this world and it is found in Indonesia. Clear? Yes, Jasmine, is
Yes.
it clear? Okay. Now I will
Yes.
show you the smallest flower. Smallest flower is Wolffia. It is also known as duckweed. See how small it is?
Yes.
Okay. And its diameter is 0.5 mm only. See, Rafflesia's diameter is 1 meter. Wolffia's diameter is 0.5 mm. Okay. So, which is the largest flower?
Rafflesia arnoldi.
Rafflesia. Okay. And
Arnold.
smallest flower is
Wolffia.
Wolffia. Okay. So, now how many classification we have seen? First, we classify the plants based on
Their size.
first.
First, that nutrition lab.
Yes. Can you
Nutrition.
see my screen? Can you see my whiteboard?
Yeah.
Yeah. So first we classified based on nutrition. Then we classified based on the size of the
Size.
stem. Then we classified based on
Size of the
based on
stem.
hmm?
That annual biennial.
Yes, life cycle. Okay, we
Life
classified based on life cycle. Then now we classified as flower based on the flowering ability, isn't it? Some plants produce flowers, some plants they do not produce flowers. Okay, so now we'll see based on their habitat. So we know that we can see some plants on land, some plants on even water, some plants on marshy areas. Okay, so based on
Yes.
the habitat also we can see different types of plants. Okay, have you seen the one second? Have you seen the flower hyacinth? Have you heard the flower hyacinth?
No.
See, this is hyacinth. This hyacinth, it is a flower which is found on water. It always float on the water. Okay, hyacinth, it always float on the water. Why it float on the water? Because its leaves are filled with air. Okay, this hyacinth, they are filled with air, so it always float on the water. Okay, so hyacinth is a type of plant which we can see on water, and we know so many plants which can see on land. Clear?
Yes, clear.
Okay, so based on the habitat also there are different types of plants. Okay, so how many classifications we have done? 5 based on nutrition,
Size of the stem, life cycle, flowering and non-plant.
yes, very good.
And habitat.
Habitat means where they lives. Okay, so we can see plants on water, land. Okay, even desert also. Can you tell me example for the plant which you can see only on desert? Cactus. Cactus, very good. So this stem of the cactus are very fleshy. Why the stem of the cactus is fleshy? Do you know the answer?
No.
No. See, cactus, we told that we can see this cactus in desert region. So desert region means what? Will we get plenty of water in desert region?
No.
No. So to overcome that situation, this cactus plant, it store water in their stem. Okay, that is why its stem is fleshy. Clear? Why
Yeah,
the stem
clear.
of a cactus is fleshy?
Because they do not contain water.
Yes, because this cactus, they are found only in desert region, and in desert region, there is shortage of water. Okay, so to overcome this situation, this cactus tree, it will store the water in its stem. Understood? So
Yes, ma'am.
diversity in plants, is it clear for you? Did you
Yes.
understand the diversity in plant?
Yes,
Okay,
I
now
understood.
one more thing. One botanist, his name is Carl Linnaeus. Botanist, his name is Carl Linnaeus. He did first he did the classification of plants. I will type his name here. His name is, it's an important person, very famous person, Carl Linnaeus. Okay. Okay, Carl Linnaeus. He's a botanist. He's a famous botanist, and he done the classification of plants. Clear? Just keep it in your mind. Carl Linnaeus. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so we understood diversity in plants. We have seen different types of plants based on their food, based on their habitat, based on the size of stem, then based on life cycle. Yes, so we have seen and we understood that there are different types of plants. Can you tell me what is the need of this classification? Why it is necessary to classify the living things?
I don't know.
See, I will tell you one example. See, in your home, suppose there is a shelf, there is one cupboard, okay, and you have to keep all dresses of all the family member. So how will you keep? Will you keep all the dresses together?
No, I will fold and keep.
But how? Will you keep them together? Will you keep your mother's dress, father's dress, your dress together?
No, separate.
Separate. Why you are keeping it separate?
Because we can get confused.
Yes, you can avoid the confusion. Okay, then
Then we don't know which dress is that.
yes, if next time if you want to go for a party, instead of searching, you will get it easily. You can get it easily. So for your convenience, you are separating that dresses and keeping it in separate section. So in the same way, why we are doing the classification? For our convenience, so that we can easily study about different types of plants. Okay, when we are classifying the plants based on the life cycle, we can easily identify, mango trees are perennial, they can live for several years. Okay, so for our convenience, for the easiness of the study, we can easily study about the plants if we are classifying based on their similarities, based on their differences. Understood the importance of classification?
Yes.
Okay, now we'll move to classification of animals. See, on the screen, can you see different types of animals? Wait, I will show you. Your mic is off.
I can see only careless names.
Yes, I will show you. 1 second. Now is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So all the animals which is on the screen, is it same? They all are alike?
Yes, they are alive.
They all are same?
No, they are different.
They are different. So like plants, we can see diversity in animals also. We can classify animals also in different categories. Okay, based on the classification. Okay, so first we'll see the cell structure. See, there are so many organisms which we cannot see with the help of our naked eye. Have you heard about such organisms? Have you heard?
No.
No? Have you heard about bacteria?
Bacteria, no.
Bacteria? Virus?
No, I didn't understand.
Microorganisms?
Yes.
Yes. So under this microorganisms, bacteria, virus will come. Have you heard about coronavirus?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this virus, they all are microorganisms. Can you see a virus with your naked eye?
No.
No. If you want to observe a virus or bacteria, you need,
Magnified glass.
yes, you need microscope. Okay. So based on the cell structure, we can classify animals into two types. Okay. They are unicellular and multicellular. Okay. Based on the cell structure, we can classify animals into two types. They are unicellular and multicellular. So unicellular means those organisms which have only one cell, only a single cell. Okay, for that I have given the example microorganisms. Okay, so can you give me example for multicellular? See, unicellular means the animals which have only one cell, which have only a single cell. Multicellular means the organisms which have more than one cells. So can you give me one example for multicellular?
Man.
Man, very good. Okay, so based on the cell structure, we can classify animals into two types. They are unicellular and multicellular. Okay, so that is first classification. Now next, see, if you touch your backside, just touch backside, can you feel a bond? Chain
Yes.
of bond? What is that?
Yeah. Bone.
That bond is called what?
Multicellular.
No. That bond is vertebral column. Okay? That bond is known as vertebral column. Okay? So, do all animals have this vertebral column?
No.
No. Okay. So, the animals which have vertebral column, they are known as vertebrates. Clear? Animals which have, so next classification is based on vertebral column. 1 second. Next classification is based on vertebral column. So based on vertebral column, animals are classified into vertebrates and invertebrates. So vertebrates means animals which have vertebral column. Invertebrates means animals those do not have vertebral column. Clear?
Clear.
So can you give some examples for vertebrates?
Vertebrate.
From
I
this
don't know.
picture, can you take out some names? Wait 1 second. See, from this picture, can you take out some names? These all are vertebrates animals.
Yeah.
Give me two
Dolphin
names. Yes, dolphin, then
and panda.
panda. Okay, so these are vertebrate animals. Now, from invertebrates, can you give two names?
Snail,
Snail, okay.
earthworm.
Earthworm, okay. Or you can say insects, okay. Cockroaches. They all are examples for vertebrates and invertebrates. Clear?
Okay.
Now,
Clear.
the next classification is based on reproduction. So in the starting, I have told you what is meant by reproduction. Do you remember?
Yes.
So what is reproduction?
From a flower, we get a fruit. From that fruit, there are seeds. So when we put into the soil, again the plant will grow.
Okay, in simpler sentence, simple sentence, we can say production of young ones. So only plants give birth to young one, or only from plants new plants are produced? Do animals give birth to young ones?
Yes.
Yes. So based on reproduction in animals, again animals are classified into oviparous and viviparous. So oviparous means the animals give birth to young ones by laying eggs. Okay, oviparous animals means which lay eggs and give birth to young one. Can you give best example for oviparous which lay eggs and give birth to young one?
Hen.
Hen. So you know, hen will lay eggs. After that, she will sit on the egg, and after some days, the egg will hatch and young one will produce. Okay, so that type of animals comes under oviparous. Even birds. Okay, now viviparous means which gives birth to their young ones. Okay, oviparous, they will lay eggs, but viviparous, they will directly give birth to young ones. Can you give example for viviparous?
Man.
Man, very good. So understood the difference between oviparous and viviparous?
Yes.
Okay. So for oviparous, hen is an example. For viviparous, man, cow, cat, giraffe, dog, donkey, monkey. All these are examples for all these are viviparous animals. Clear?
Clear.
Now next classification is based on the habitat. Okay, so we know that some animals we can see on land, some animals we can see on water, some animals we can see both on land on water, some animals we can see on air. Okay, so based on this, animals are again classified. So the animals which can see on land, they are known as terrestrial animals. Clear? Animals. Clear? Is it clear? If it is not clear, please let me know.
Okay.
Huh?
It's clear.
Animals which you can see on land, they are known as terrestrial animals. For example, cow, cat, goat, monkey, donkey, all are terrestrial animals. Now, which animal is this?
Tur Turtle.
Turtle. So where you can see this turtle?
In land also, in water also.
Okay, so water, or if fish, if I'm asking about fish, where you can see this fish?
Fish is water.
Water. So the animals which are found in water, they are known as aquatic animals. Okay, which are found in land, they are known as terrestrial animals. Which are found in water, they are known as aquatic animals. Now, there are some animals which we can see both on land and on water. Such animals are known as amphibians. Have you heard this term, amphibians?
Yes.
So example for amphibian is
Frog.
frog. Okay, so based on the habitat, we can classify animals again into three types. They are, so based on habitat, we can classify the animals in three types. The animals which lives on land, they are known as terrestrial animals. Animals which live on water, they are known as aquatic animals, and which are found both on land and water, they are known as amphibians. Clear? And some,
Yes.
see where you can see, where can you see birds, crow, butterfly, honeybee, where they are found? Yes, they all fly in the air. So such animals are known as aerial mode of life. Aerial means which lives or which fly in the air. Okay, aerial mode of life.
Ma'am, I can't hear you.
Hello, now can you hear me?
Yes.
So birds such as crow, then butterfly, honeybee, they all live in air. So this, they are known as aerial, their habitat is known as aerial mode of life. Yes, Jasmine, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I am there.
Okay. So understood about the diversity in animals? So how we classify
Yes, I understood.
animals? How we classified animals? First, we classified animals on the basis of
Yes, ma'am.
First, we classified animals on the basis of.
Ma'am, I can't hear you.
Still, you can't hear.
Ma'am, the phone is coming. No, that's why means the voice is getting low.
Okay, then disconnect the call.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, can I rejoin?
Yes, but only 4 minutes are left. Sometimes the call will get disconnected.
Okay.
Okay, and please let me know next class which chapter do you want me to teach. Can't hear you.
Teach me 6th chapter because I saw the book. Ma'am teach me till substances in the surrounding, their states and properties.
Chapter number, please tell me the chapter numbers.
6.
So when is your 6th and?
From 6th you can take because ma'am has taught me till 5th.
6th, chapter 6 you need. And when is your semester exam?
Semester, I don't know. Teacher didn't send me the message.
Did you get syllabus of first semester exam? Till which chapter will comes for first semester exam?
No, I didn't see. When I will see, no, then I will.
Okay. So in next class, I will teach you chapter 6. Now, do you want any notes for this?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I will give you some questions as a homework in WhatsApp. Okay. So before the next lecture, you have to find out the answers and you need to submit to me. You just find out the answers, click the photos and send me on WhatsApp.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now we'll do the recap. So, and just we'll try to recall what are all things we have learned today. Okay. So tell me how we classify the plants.
Yes, ma'am.
How we classified the plants.
We classify the plants between types of leaves.
Okay, types of leaves. Then
Then herbs from
so
trees.
the headings. So next time when I will ask, you have to tell the headings like based on nutrition, based on life cycle.
Yes,
Okay. Then based on flowering, then based on habitat. So in the same way, how animals are classified? See, you can see on the screen itself how animals are classified.
Yes, ma'am. By oviparous and viviparous.
So you have to say like this, based on reproduction. Okay, based on vertebral column, based on cell structure, and based on the habitat. Okay, so can you remember which is the largest flower in the world?
Means no.
Rafflesia.
Yeah, Rafflesia.
Okay, which is the smallest flower?
Yes, ma'am.
Smallest flower?
Smallest plant is
Wolffia.
Golfia. Golfia. Okay.
And who is the person who first classified the plants?
Carlius.
Carl Linnaeus. Okay. Now, do you have any doubt in this chapter?
No.
Any part is not clear for you? Is there any part which is not clear?
No, I'm clear now.
Okay. So we'll see on next lecture. Okay. So I will send you the homework in WhatsApp. Okay. Okay. Bye. Take care.
Bye, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Bye.